And very good morning to Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And joining me this morning is the Defence Secretary of the Republic of Sri Lanka, Mr. Karunasena Hettiarachchi. Very good morning to you, Mr. Hettiarachchi.
Good morning, Faraz.
And welcome to Newsline. This morning we have a new set in response to the popularity of the program. The chairman and the directors of the Capital Maharaja Group have decided to provide a new set for the benefit of our viewers. And so thank you for the new set, and we hope you enjoy the program as we do every morning, Monday through to Friday from 7 to 7:30, asking the questions that you want asked and hopefully getting those answers. And back to you, Defence Secretary. How fares all these troubles we have? Shall we start with the pensions? What's happening with the pensions?
Well, I think it was a long-standing issue from since 2008 it started, and the previous government didn't address that issue, and it actually at the last stage of that government, 2014, they got a cabinet approval, but it was not implemented. And when President Sirisena came into being and these requests were referred to him recently, and he has instructed the Defence Ministry to look into that in collaboration with the Public Administration Ministry and the Pensions Department, Finance Ministry, and to answer this question or address the issue.
And we had that unfortunate protest in Goldface Green. How did it appear to have got out of hand? How did that happen?
Well, I think we had quite a lot of discussions with them and negotiations, and while we were at that point of time, particularly exactly at the same time, we were discussing with the representatives of these disabled soldiers, and at that time another group came and tried to enter the President's Secretariat.
Right.
Quite unfortunate.
It seemed to have caught them off guard. The people did not expect, the security forces not expect this to happen.
Well, I think I can't answer that question, and that is the responsibility of the President's security and at large the police department.
But the matter of the pensions itself, is that resolved now? Is it?
Yes, totally resolved.
So anybody who doesn't, who is hurt or who dies in action within the period, without actually 10 or the 12 years, depending on which force, they will now get a pension or their benefits.
Of course, the people who died in action, they are already getting this pension.
Okay, so it's only the people who are, it's only the disability.
Disabled people, yeah.
Right. So then that too has been resolved.
Yes.
Wonderful. So then that means we can then get on to the next question. What on earth is AAVA? What is AAVA?
According to the information I received from the Northern and the Police Department, this is a gang of people, and I would rather say categorize them as criminals.
Right.
Yeah.
Are they politically motivated or are they criminally motivated? What do you think?
Well, with the available information, there may be some political involvement, but I don't think that is politically. It's a kind of criminals, trying to make money and trying to imitate the South Indian films.
I see.
Yeah.
But what I want to ask you is, the Sri Lankan government have always maintained that there is a real need to maintain the level of security in the north, in the former conflict areas. Having done that, how come these people have managed to raise their head?
Yeah, these two different things you are trying to put together and ask this question, but ultimately in the society it looks as you ask this question.
Yeah.
But our responsibility is to see the overall national security.
Right.
And day-to-day actions like these is a responsibility of the police department to look into that. I think the police are quite active and they are taking actions now. They have been now prosecuted, some of these criminals, both in Wani district as well as in Jaffna district.
Would you have preferred, Defence Secretary, for the police department to have been listed under you as Defence Secretary?
Well, I think in the present context of this government, good governance, police should not be under the Defence Ministry.
Right.
That should be a separate ministry. This is a kind of a department, civil department.
Right.
It's not a military.
Right.
So our way of action is different, and the police are different.
And you're quite happy to. How does the communication work between the defence and the ministry that is handling law and order, and then the police?
Yeah, very effective communication. We meet quite often, and we talk to each other. And there are a couple of forums where we have officially we meet up and take decisions for the security of the country.
So no problems there?
Not at all.
Would you think that AAVA has been nipped in the bud? Is it finished with? Can we expect some copycat action?
Well, I think you should ask this question from the Ministry of Law and Order, because we also have some information. I need to confirm such information, and I think the police are taking appropriate action in this regard. So I have the confidence in police.
Is there some sort of sensitive items in here which you don't really want to talk on the set of a newsroom?
Yeah, well, I think some of the things, if someone is interpreting what we are saying now differently, it will have some adverse effect on the in and around the country. So therefore, I don't want to make such a statement. It is a sensitive issue. Government is very serious about this matter. They are taking every step to stop this kind of nonsense.
And Defence Secretary, what about the issue of lands? I know that you all have released a lot of lands in the former conflict areas and so on. But how is that program doing? How many thousands of acres or hectares have you?
Well, I think we have, if I can remember correctly, we have released about around 8,000 acres after this government came into power, right? When Mr. President Sirisena started this government, the military occupation of the northern lands, or the Jaffna district lands, is well over 2.5%.
Right.
Now it has come down to 1.67% yesterday.
Right.
So that means large extents of land being released, private as well as the government land being released for the purpose of development and for those people who deserve to have their own lands.
Right.
So there's a substantial progress that we are trying even further and further, release some more land so that they can continue their day-to-day life.
What are the practical difficulties that you're facing?
Well, there are certain sensitive security areas like KK's harbour.
Yeah.
All right, and then the cantonment, military cantonment that is in Palale, Palale Airport, and these lands we cannot release because these are required for national security.
Right.
So those are the only thing, and we came out with a new concept of coexistence, the military and the civilians living side by side.
Right.
So that is also another concept that we introduced during this land release period.
And is that working?
Yeah.
KKS, have you actually released any of the lands in KKS, or is it still very much...
Oh, we have released. Even recently when President Sirisena went to Jaffna, we released about 454 acres of land.
Right.
So those lands people are now coming and they are clearing and they are occupying.
Right. And what about this business of Sri Lanka's information that Sri Lanka has also had people going and joining IS in Syria? How much of a problem is this? What does it indicate?
Well, I think that's a very sensitive issue. I don't feel like discussing it now.
Right.
Right, because it might create problems, right? So anyway, we have information. We are monitoring the situation. That is what I can share with the media.
And thank you. What about? Can you comment on? Is there a spread of extremism in Sri Lanka as well? It's everywhere else in the world, but
Well, I think extremism now, various kinds of extremism is, happening in the cyberspace. Because social media is very powerful now. People go through, and all the radicalization is being done through the through internet and so on, and that is how it's happening.
What steps you're taking to counter sort of anti-measures, cyber security?
Well, I think we have to come out with some solutions, but still we are developing it, and that will be within the context of good governance and freedom of media.
But surely you can't solve this problem in the way that His Excellency solved or resolved the problem of the young man who hacked his website. He dealt with him rather like a father and a son.
Yeah.
But there are wider issues that you talk about.
Yeah, I think that is one incident,
Yeah.
So many people, so many hackers are there around. Some people do hacking just as a hobby.
Yeah.
Some people do business they do.
Right.
So it's only, you are talking about one particular case.
But what about, are you all in touch with the media, ministry and so on, the Department of Information, to try and control this?
Well, control is not the word that we have to use.
Yeah.
It is kind of a regulatory measures that we have to come out with, and protective measures that we have to take.
Yes,
right.
I think that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah,
protective.
Yeah. There are. This is you have to invest quite a lot of money in protective measures, and we are working with the Telecom Regulatory Authority as well as the Media Ministry and various universities with this technology, right?
But money is not a problem at the Ministry of Defence, is it?
Well, money is not. No one can say money is not a problem, but it's a problem because we are being given money for a particular purpose. So
I see.
That if it is something beyond that purpose, we have to go back to the Treasury and Cabinet and get the authority.
Notice that it's been cut slightly this time in the budget.
No. We get the sufficient money, and all the requirements are being met by the Finance Ministry.
I see. Talk about money brings us in nicely to the matter of maritime security and Ratna Lanka, RLL. Are they making money as much as it was when it was in the hands of an outside company?
Well, I think it's a different story at this point of time, because we are not charging exorbitant prices from even other maritime security companies, right? Private maritime security companies. We have reduced the charges,
right?
And on the other hand, the requirement is going down. The piracy is not that much in this region,
right?
So therefore, you won't have that kind of business. At the very height of this piracy, people wanted more security, more weapons, right, kind of thing.
Right.
Now it has come down. So this is going to be, that means we have provided good security, and the people in and around the Indian Ocean region, they have done their job properly.
Right.
That is why the piracy has gone down.
Right. So we can also be proud that we've also played our little role in this.
Of course, yeah.
And what I don't know, I better not ask you about Avant-Garde. There's something going on there, isn't there? Have you resolved it? Avant-Garde, is the problem all solved? Have they paid us our money?
I think, yeah, it is something that we signed an agreement. I think previously you have discussed this matter at Pathikada, I can remember.
Yeah.
Which I was not a party, but anyway, Ratna Lanka has signed an agreement to recover the money.
Right.
And immediately they recovered about 163 million rupees.
Right.
And some more to recover. Now the Ratna Lanka is taking legal action to recover that money, balance money.
So that's the ongoing process.
Yeah,
can we quickly go on to this matter of the former conflict areas? The Chief Minister there is continuously asking for a reduction or to have the security presence removed. Is that something rationally possible?
Impossible.
Impossible. You heard it from the Defence Secretary. Impossible. What about a reduction in numbers? Is that happening?
Well, I think it is not the reduction, but it is right sizing of the military everywhere.
Yeah.
We are not only thinking about north, but we are thinking about the whole country, each and every district. We have done assessment. What are the numbers? What are the threat levels? What is the population? What is the extent of land being commanded by those militaries there? So based on those factors, we work out, what's going to be the strength in Colombo and strength in Gampar district, Kalutara district, and all the districts.
And so the north is keeping in line with that?
Of course.
Right.
So we have to do it. The north is not an exception.
It's all part of the country.
It's all part of the country.
Right.
So no one can say that the military should be taken out of that area. Because where am I going to, if Colombo people also say that we don't take the military out of Colombo, where am I going to keep my military? Right? So that is the big question, The people, we are providing security to the country and the people. Right? And it is how we are going to do it, it is left to the Ministry of Defense and the militaries. Right? And any other expert who can come and help us, we prepare to listen to them.
Right.
But the decision is from the Ministry of Defense.
The final decision.
Final decision, right? And it is the government, head of the state, who is in charge of all three armed forces.
Right.
He's the one who should decide how we should do it.
Right.
So we provide all information to the head of the state to take that decision.
Yeah.
Right? No one else can decide about this matter. No point in wasting their time in commenting on this matter.
Continuously going. There's no discussion on this.
No discussion. There's no compromise, no negotiation on these points.
Right. What do these troops do during their time out there? Previously, they've been involved in commercial activities. Some of them have been used to do clean-up operations. Some of them have been used to sell vegetables. What are you doing about these sort of small commercial activities?
Well, I think this is a big issue even, and the international community is questioning this. But since they are concerned about the business activities that will affect the local communities, right? So such small vegetable shops and things like that, all that being closed by now by the militaries. And certain activities, now we have taken stock of all three militaries, what kind of business they do, and we have taken a stock, and now we are going through it and trying to come out with various solutions to each and every business.
Right.
So within about 5 to 6 months' time, we don't want to do any business. I'm not in favor of doing business by the militaries.
Right.
They have another job to do,
Yeah.
They have to provide the security to the country, right? So let them do that. But even a friend of mine told me recently, and in United States, one of the senior officials of this government, Obama administration, when they were in Washington, right, they went to a restaurant.
Yeah.
They took them to a restaurant for lunch.
Right.
They went to the Navy restaurant, right?
Okay.
So they have all these facilities around the world.
Right.
All these militaries, they have their own facilities for themselves, and whenever any general public wants to go and have those comforts, they can have it there.
Right.
I think it is not only limited to Sri Lanka. You go to India. India is giving a huge canteen system for military.
Right.
Right.
So it's this is a sort of a global military tradition.
Yeah.
It's not exclusive to Sri Lanka.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so you probably think that it's this media again that's making a big meal out of this. Is that right?
Well, I think media is communicate these things to the public.
Yeah.
But generally, the perception of some politicians, international community, they are thinking Sri Lanka in a different context. This is the problem, right? This is just even from the conflict time to during the transition and to the peace, right? You need some mechanism. Even those days when you are going to Jaffna, you go by road, you stop at Elephant Pass.
Indeed.
And people enjoy a cup of tea from the military restaurant, right? Army restaurant.
Yeah.
Now we are going to close it, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. because there is a clamor that we should stop all this business.
Now, what
and
about-
we will have that one for our own people within the military.
Oh, so you're not entirely wasting money, but then the public can't make use of that.
Of course.
Why can't you?
Why then you all are making noise, you and the international community making noise about it, and you want us to close it? So we'll close it. Let the people of that area start a new good restaurant.
But Defence Secretary, we are not the international community. We are the people's channel. We are merely raising the question. Why can't you have a little tender and give it out to the public sector? I mean, there are loads of companies here that specialize in hospitality management. It's part of our culture.
Yeah, that's a good option. Not only for that, Elephant Pass restaurant,
Yeah.
but there are other hotels run by the military.
That's right.
Yeah.
The one in KKS is particularly nice.
Salsevana. Yeah.
Are you thinking of outsourcing that?
Well, I think we have to think about it. Right? You know, some of these military hotels and restaurants, actually, initially they do it for their officers. These officers, they are not getting highly paid like in private sector, right? So they need this kind of facilities for them to go with their families for vacation.
And with
so
a certain amount of safety as well.
Yeah. Not really,
Safety not so much.
Not so much. But those days it was.
Yeah.
It
During
was,
the conflict it must
conflict,
be.
yeah. But now these people, all the bungalows are fully booked during the month of December, Christmas holidays, because all the officers and other rankers, they book their bungalows, book the bungalows and go and stay a couple of days.
Right.
So they can't go and stay in private hotel because it's too expensive for them.
Right.
So these facilities, we need to keep some of those.
Right.
Some of those things we can outsource. Yeah.
Our senior members of the military, do they get duty-free vehicle permits?
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh, right. So it's all equal then. It's not only the parliamentarians.
No. They're getting.
Oh, good. That's wonderful. What do you think? What is the overall picture here? The forces, they joined, obviously, to serve president and country, Mother Lanka. There must be some unhappiness that they've been asked to do sort of menial jobs. That's not exactly the right word, but you know. So they, instead of being a waiter at the hotel in KKS, for example, he probably wants to be part of a military. Well, what are you going to do about this thing?
I think the waiters are not, we don't use soldiers to serve as waiters. They do different jobs, right? But it depends, this is, it's not forced really. What we do is, if they are willing to serve and get an additional income,
Right.
they can, that is optional, voluntary.
Right.
It's not we are not forcing any of those guys to do that kind of thing. Generally, now for instance, if you take, recently we constructed this reconciliation village and handed over to the people. President Sirisena went on 31st October and we finished this one. And what you can see, all this construction was done by the military people.
Right. Okay.
They took the tools like flower masonry and they construct houses for the very people they fought against. The very people, I don't say, they're part of those community.
Yeah.
So now this time they are with the travel mason and doing all the work for these to settle these people.
I see. As Defence Secretary in this post-conflict time, what other divisions are listed under you as Defence Secretary? Previously we had the UDA. Is the UDA still?
No, it's not under me.
Right. So the matters that are under you, listed under you, are they all entirely to do with the military?
Of course, yeah. Yeah, I think the Kottala Defence University, one of the important institutions, the Defence Staff College, and then the school, Defence Services School for the children of the military families, and Ranabiru Seva Adhikariya, and Civil Defence, Civil Security Department, 3 militaries, Rakna Lanka,
Right.
and few other things, coming under the Ministry of Defence.
Right. And overall, you're happy with this
Yeah,
situation?
yeah, quite happy, yeah.
And how much of interference do you get from the other side of the National Unity Government?
Well, I think they are not they cannot interfere with my work. I work under the direction of the President, so no one is trying to give me instructions or directions in my work. So I get the instruction from the right place, and we do our job properly.
Could you be described as tough compared to other defense secretaries in the past? Are you
Other
tough?
defense?
Other defense secretaries, others who have held your job, can we consider you to be, do you consider yourself to be tough?
No, I don't think so.
Right.
Because I'm a civil servant.
Yeah.
And I'm not a military guy. Military guys can be tough on certain matters.
Yeah.
But I think I have to listen to people, talk to people. Then only I can get the, kind of the feedback that I should get it from the people. Yeah.
In comparison to other secretaries of ministries, is the defense secretary higher ranked?
No, it's of course the same rank, but the role of defense secretary is, very important and been recognized by the government. And I think it's a very prestigious position, like the Secretary Finance, right?
Right.
He got all the monies and he need to distribute it among others with the instruction of his minister. Likewise, I have certain resources under my command, so that is why the Defense Ministry is important, and the responsibility is high. It's a 24/7 job, right? No weekends, nothing, so we have to work.
What happens to the family life?
Well, I'm settled because both my children are married, and I have a grandchild also now, right?
All right.
So I think family life, my wife understands my responsibility, and she knows that I cannot be at home, so I have to leave early in the morning or come late in the evening. So this is happening, There is nothing, no problem with family life.
And then on top of that, you have to cope with media requests to turn up at ungodly hours in the morning.
Yes, that is very. I think that's very unkind to do that kind of thing, because you have to shift your program at least to say 8 o'clock or something like that, so it will be comfortable.
It's so that all our people can go off to work knowing that the country is in safe hands, as it appears indeed to be. Defense Secretary, thank you very much for being on Newsline. And actually, we don't get this opportunity often, and so we'll take this opportunity now to thank you for the general ambience of peace and safety that the people in this country are living in now. Thank you very much, and do pop by when you feel you'll need to get out of the house early onto our set, because we start at 7 o'clock. Thank you very much, Defense Secretary.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
And that's it from Newsline, from this brand new set that we have. And once again, thank you to our Chairman and the Board of Directors for this wonderful opportunity. And at Capital Maharaja, opportunities become a reality. Thank you. Take care and have a great day ahead. God bless.